When I first watched Ouran High School Host Club, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. The first question that I asked was, what is it? First of all, it's a shoujo anime. That comes as no surprise. Water is wet. And I initially thought that it was just an anime that was just about, you know, the land of horny rich high school niggas and Haku, the main character. But no, the plot of Ouran High School Host Club is that the main character, Haruhi Fujioka, has to make up money for the 8 million yen vase that she broke accidentally. And to repay her debt, she joins the Ouran Academy Host Club. But it's interesting because, for one, the only people that are allowed in the host club are boys, and she's a girl. And another question that I had about Ouran High School Host Club was, why was the main character Haruhi not questioning when people were calling her a boy? But then I had to remember when I worked at Office Depot. Bro, if I had $1 for every time somebody called me a ma'am or a miss, bro, steaks on me, nigga. We going to Ruth Chris, you know what I'm saying? I got the lobster mac and cheese, whatever you want on me. And also, it's for the extremely wealthy people that go to Ouran Academy. And the only reason she gets in is because she knew 2 of the members of the host club. And she got into the school because she was a straight A student, extremely smart. And Haruhi isn't really rich. She's probably like middle class, you know. And with her getting in, she has to repay her debt by getting 1,000 customers, 1,000 hostess, so that she can service them and make sure they have a great, enjoyable experience. Episode 1 really threw me for a loop because I really just thought that it was Trust Fund Baby, the anime. And you know, this by itself doesn't sound bad. But when you have this, that's very bad. But when you mix this and this, like it was a fucking insufferable, illegal smoothie, this can't be, you know? Especially if you're a dude in his 20s that's kind of like alt and black. I don't know if that's my demographic, but I'm still, you know, I still watch it, bro. I'm grown. I will still watch anything, and I can still find something enjoyable about it, which is why I watched Ouran High School Host Club. And moments like this in Ouran High School Host Club didn't really make it any better, you know?
Let's all play the Which One is Hikaru game!
Also, there were a lot of people that were hating on the dub. Bro, the dub is good. Edward and Broly, Winry and Vivi, Zoro, Vegeta, and Piccolo. Come on now.
So, can you tell which one of us is Hikaru?
Well, it's hard to say.
Alright, so boom. Top, bottom. The twins, bro, I figured it out, bro. The twins are basically a 2006 version of the Claremont twins, bro. Like, it's clear as day.
I asked you not to tell anyone that. Why are you so mean to me?
I'm sorry, Kaoru.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it better be no homo.
I didn't mean to upset you. But you were so adorable when it happened I had to tell them.
But are you sure it's okay for such a young boy to become a host?
Why wouldn't it be? Love has nothing to do with age. Take us, for instance. Whenever I look at you, my heart starts pounding.
Yeah, she want a sweet tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That booty look.
But as I continued Ouran High School Host Club, my opinions and my ideas of what the anime was changed. In episode 1, there was like a dark undertone from Haruhi, you know, when she explained her backstory, and this leads you to believe that there may be more serious themes explored in Ouran High School Host Club, which I feel like there are. The nostalgic art style by Studio Bones, it instantly draws you in, bro. When I first saw it, it just reminded me of Soul Eater, who I also believe was made by Studio Bones. Also in episode 1, the lights turning on, does that mean that these niggas were turned on by Haruhi because they found out that she was a girl? I mean, that's definitely the case, you know, but I mean, still. Insects? Lolly? Also in Ouran High School Host Club, there was a very implicit idea of a lot of the characters of the host club being, I don't want to say gay, but I'd say like flowery or just like very suave or very smooth or maybe homoerotic. I don't know. But I didn't really have a problem with it as it went on. And at first I was just like, bro, should I drop this? But I'm grown. I don't drop anime. If I watch it, I stick with it and I write it out. But yeah. And speaking of Soul Eater, I came up with a comparison and the observation that if Halloween is to Soul Eater, then Valentine's Day is to Ouran High School Host Club. I thought that was cool. Y'all like that? Come on now. But there are very good and redeeming qualities about Ouran High School Host Club. There's a strong awareness of the genre that is Ouran High School Host Club, which is Shoujo. And they're very aware of the tropes as well. And also the constant fourth wall breaks really connect the viewer with the show. And they make you understand and aware that, hey, we know that this might be a little bit weird, but hey, we also know that it's okay. Kinda. Also with Haruhi's character, you know, With the way that all of the girls, or at least most of them are in Ouran High School Host Club, you would think that she would be head over heels for a lot of the other members of the club as well. But with her character is different. She's more of like a tomboy, you know, she's more broody and stoic. And this is like very, I'm not gonna say attractive, but as a dude watching this, I can feel for her because like, who wants to be Prince Charming in the land of daffodils and honey and milk, where all the bad bitches are just fawning over you, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? At the sight and smell of you, they just drop dead to their knees and they're just like, oh my gosh, I just want to worship him.
I love this nigga right here.
No, bro. What's not said, bro? I need a mean bitch, not in a scene bitch. So I really liked Haruhi's character for that reason. Also, there's very charming humor. You know, there's deadpan humor, slapstick, wordplay, witty humor, satirical humor, situational. And it's just very charming for the times that it came out in, which is 2006, and it's very appropriate. And Ouran is a very episodic, but also seemingly connected story at first. At least that's what it seemed like to me at first. But even with it being episodic, because, you know, some people think that episodic anime are boring, you know, for example, Cowboy Bebop, but I beg to differ. I still feel like with the episodic nature of it, it works very well. There's also a very satisfying feeling after every episode where, for example, a certain new character may come in, or even somebody that's in the host club. There may be a dilemma or something that happens, and there's always a resolute ending. You know, there's always some type of epiphany that happens within the characters in Ouran by the end of the episode, which really hooks you, and it connects the characters as well as the viewers even more so than before. A while back, I saw this video by this YouTuber named Inaku. Don't crucify me. Inaku, I hope I said it right. Shout out to you. She made a video talking about when anime puts character connections over plot.
Every single character in this show feels like a main character. It's balanced so well in the writing. That's the wonderful nature of having a series where character does come before plot. This is the only anime that I know puts plot as like the fourth most important thing about it. Right after vibes, characters, and character relationships.
And I feel like this is definitely the case with Ouran, because Soul Eater is another anime that does this, and that's the topic of what she talks about in that video. And I really feel like a lot of Soul Eater and Ouran's fan base may overlap, because I definitely feel like this is also the case with Ouran High School Host Club. What you love is the characters. What you love is the twins and their mischievous nature. You love Mori-senpai because he's a stoic, silent, strong, cool nigga. You like Honey-senpai because he's an adorable, cute boy that just wants to drink tea, eat sweets, and play with his teddy bear. You like Kyoya because he's the cool anime character that has everything always set up in his favor. You love Tamaki because he's the head of the host club, and even though he may have flaws, he definitely tries his best to be the best him that he can be for the host club and to make sure that everything goes well. And last but not least, Haruhi. She's the main character. She's cool, you know. She's sort of like the outlier in all the rest of these amazingly tropey characters, you know. She's like the natural character, main character, you know. They also do this thing where like they'll take a random break from the comedic moments to talk about real life issues. Haruhi didn't really like Tamaki at first because she thought that he was like an obnoxious pretty boy, Sanji, suave, playboy type of character. But throughout different events that happen in each of the different episodes, this idea changes, and we see that not only does Haruhi have a deep appreciation for Tamaki, the head of the host club, but also the other members of the host club do as well. They don't play about him, bro. It just gave me such a warm feeling watching that and experiencing that and knowing that, you know? But Ouran High School Host Club is the shoujo anime that I never should have watched for two reasons. For one, because while I may have only seen about 3 or 4 shoujo anime so far, the ones that I have seen have been very mature for the most part and very good. But Ouran High School Host Club was just like a gateway shoujo anime that really made me experience and understand that there's no conventional way that a shoujo anime should be. And so I have no other option but to indulge and engage in more shoujo anime, bro. I need to dive in like Gumball did in that one episode of Gumball. And another reason that I say that it's the shoujo anime that I never should have watched is because I know. And while the anime and the manga for Ouran High School Host Club have slight differences, I still felt that it was a very enjoyable experience for anime only watchers. But to get the best experience, I feel like it's almost inevitable that you have to read the manga. But what I'm about to say has been known since the beginning of time, bro. Since T-Rexes and Triceratops were fucking doing the Eiffel Tower with pterodactyls, bro. Everybody has known this since the beginning of time. The music and the other different things and moments that make the anime memorable and nostalgic can never be replaced with the manga, you know. So that's just one of the big general reasons why anime in some cases may be a more memorable, enjoyable experience than just looking at black text with black and white images and that's it, you know. You remember all the wacky moments that the characters went through. You remember when Haruhi had the whole entire host club over at her apartment and she made black tea for them. You remember when the twins had a falling out because they realized their flaws about each other because of Haruhi. You know, it's just simple like slice of life type moments like this that just really stick with you and really just make you appreciate Ouran over time, and might even want to make you rewatch it or just talk about it with a friend or just go on Reddit and be like, do you remember Ouran High School Host Club? Because after watching it, it's definitely an anime that I won't forget. And also, the ending was very emotional, touching, and it connected many of the events that happened in Ouran High School Host Club. To say that Ouran was as episodic as it was, the creators were able to make a very suspenseful and rewarding ending. And the way that they ended off the show made you want a season 2. But it's been 19 years, bro, and I don't think a season 2 is in sight. I don't think it's in reach, grasp. I think that's just it, and we're just gonna have to deal with that, okay? Please like the video if you enjoyed. That's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna go. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, drink water, stay healthy, and start on your dreams today. Goodbye and peace.
So